Welcome home, racing fans. Well, I'd like to introduce you to this article. It's about 5 years old now, but all the links inside of it have been updated, and the techniques, well, they still apply today. As you can see, the track is running strong, got plenty of rubber laid down. Just it was well worth it to go braid and to go wood. So it is about an oval, but the methods inside will work for a road course as well. So I hope it does help you with some of the questions that you might have. And remember, you can do this. You know you want a wood track. You know you want to do it, and I know you can. Over the years, I've had a few questions, so I thought I'd address them now. The number one question is always, is it worth it to go braid? And the answer is absolutely yes. It's well worth it to go braid. Nothing beats the durability, the electrical conductivity, than braid. I mean, it's just once you got this here, it's here for the long haul. Now, that doesn't mean it's the right answer for you. I'll say this, if you're absolutely sure on your track design and you know you don't want to change it, you're totally happy, then go braid. Don't even think about it. Just go braid, because you will be happy. However, if you're not sure, or if you're on a really tight budget right now, then copper tape. You're not going to hear me say anything bad about copper tape. This track was taped, the first version of it anyway, for many years. So was the road course. And then when Slot Car Corner introduced their braid, their tools and everything, it was time to go braid. I went, because I had no doubt that I was keeping this oval. So again, you know, the important thing is get your track routed, get that new surface that you've always wanted, and if you go tape, go tape. But I will say yes, absolutely, 100%, braid is well worth it. One of the next questions is it truly banked? Well, it is, and then again, it isn't. I banked this track or elevated it just a few inches to mimic the track that I grew up on and I raced on as a young man. But you'll see in the article where I use supports on the edges and the ends, and it does give it a slight bank. As you can see here, how much this is raised up compared to the track in the center. You'll see in the photos there the blocks. Once you pin screws on the inside, you create a very slight bowl effect. Is it Talladega or Daytona? Absolutely not, but it does the trick. From this perspective, you can see that slight elevation change, and it is slightly bowed, and that's all I was trying to create. If you want extreme banking, then yes, you're going to have to do a little bit more work to get that kind of action. I just didn't want that. This just reminds me of my old home track. We didn't have a whole lot of banking, barely enough, really. The only purpose it served back then was for water to drain off. It certainly wasn't to help my car stay on the track, goodness sakes. So again, just a very slight bank, as you can see here, and I'll show you here, that little elevation change there, and you can see from this angle here where the track is, even with my sideboard, and how far it goes up. And that's the outer edges. But again, when you pin the center, you do create a slight bowl effect. So when it comes to lane spacing, as I put in the article, I've done about 4 inches, probably a little over 4 1/8. I was a little off when I did my radius gauge, but basically right around 4 to 4 1/8 inches is my lane width. Now, why did I do that? Well, because of these big boys right here, because we like to race 124 scale as well as 132. Now, if that's not important to you right now, I get it, and you're trying to fit a track in a certain space, but I will say this, never say never, because once you do it, you know, you may not think that you want to race this scale, but as time progresses, you just might. Now, our 132 cars have plenty of room. These have plenty of room with just a little bit of combat there, but we can negotiate and we race these cars pretty hard. So as much fun as 1/32nd scale is, which it is, these are some of our favorites too. And that's the reason why I changed the track from 3.5 inches to 4, because I wanted a little bit more room for the big cars. And finally, I just want to stress something to you, and that is don't be afraid to ask questions. Get out there, ask the questions. There's a lot of knowledge out there in our forums, in the Facebook group. There's some people that have routed tracks for a lot longer than I have, and they will help you. That's what forums and our group is all about, is about helping people. I'll also suggest, the best suggestion to start with is the guys at Slot Car Corner who provide the braid and have these tools. Call them, talk to them. They are very, very knowledgeable on making tracks, and will help you. So give them a call. Don't be afraid to talk to them. Tell them what your ideas are, and they'll do their best to help you. And like I said, you can do this. I know it seems difficult, but it isn't. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. We show how to fix mistakes in the slots and everything in the article. And I can promise you, I've ruined my share of MDF. Oh well, I just go get another piece of wood. Well, that might add to the cost, but I want to do it myself. These options of CNC routed and taking it to a shop, well, we don't even have that here. That was never an option. And I want to say that I build it myself. I want to stand back and go, okay, I did that. I'm pretty proud of it. So, doing that isn't an option. If it is for you and you can afford to do it and you have a shop, well, then by all means, whatever it takes, I guess, to get that track of your dreams. But believe me, I know you can do this. So I hope this helps you. And remember, feedback online is always important. Love to hear from you guys. And again, always ask questions. We'll do our best to help.